Good morning, everybody out there. And today's message is a unique one. Today's message, some core parts to it, will be regarding a murder hornet. It's those little flying critters. My little man had a scare incident the other day when we were out in the park field. And in an individual, I wish I knew his name still, but I don't remember a lot. This brother was going up the line, life in prison, but I'll get into that in a minute. And then, well, I guess I'll just get into it. So, I've been dealing with this court date thing coming and going, and it's driving me nuts. But it throws wrenches in the pathway. It gets me distracted. It takes me off, and it takes me back to times in which I thought I grew out of. I tried to better my life. One of those times regarding that brother. So let me go back to that story for a minute. I'm serving a little bit of time out in Texas somewhere, and in the midst of, so when I initially get into population gen pop, I knew one guy, for whatever it's worth. We had connected during intake side of things, but anyway. So I didn't click up. I guess that's the point I'm trying to say. I didn't group up with anybody. I just try to stay to myself. Granted, I one other individual, but anyway. So in the midst of child time, we get into it, and this dude, just to give you perspective for anybody that's ever been confined, the pants, roughly to the best of my knowledge, are all the same length, right? You might have different waist sizes, but lengthwise it's the same. To give perspective, this brother had his pants down below his drawers, and still probably about 6 inches, give or take, of a rise, above his ankles. Just to give perspective, dude was huge. Anyway, I tried to stay to myself, mind my business, but as anyone knows, it only goes so far. You still you're in a cage with a lot of other people, so it is what it is. Tensions, are high, stress is high, things happen. Long of the short, me and that big old dude got into it, and anyway. Thereafter, what matters most of the story is thereafter. That situation went down. Nothing lingered on, past it. If you have respect, even if you get in altercations and whatnot, more times than not, it's, all right, it's done, and it stops from there. But, of course, I didn't see it that way. I thought, I need to keep my mind ready and right, just in case. And, I'm out in the rec area. Fast forward a little bit. Well, let me back up. So a dude strangles a guard. He gets put in the box, the hole, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm out at the yard this time. He gets released. He makes a beeline straight for me. Now, mind you, everybody's playing ball, and I had just sat down up against the wall. So I see a dude coming my way, and I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. And sure enough, as soon as he gets up, gets within reach, I go ahead and stand up, and I'm nervous and not too fond of what I'm thinking is about to come about. He sticks his hand out and puts it on my shoulder, and he's like, I don't want to have any problems. And now, mind you, I'm not saying the dude was scared of me by no means. He was a monster of a dude. Now, granted, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So I'm not gonna say this, that anyone should go be timid. Don't be timid. Take an ass whooping if you got to, but don't be timid. Anywho, I just wanted to make it clear that I don't think this man embraced me with love and peace because he was afraid. I believe that something greater had worked through him in that moment. Anyway, so we began talking. and we actually became friends, and for the duration of confinement. But anyway, lo and behold, he had disclosed, he hadn't been out of the system more than few months in his entire life, and now he's going upstate for a life sentence. But the point of it was, he didn't want to be that way. And I know a lot of people might say, well, anybody's going to say that when they're going away. No. When you're locked away like that, and you got nothing left to lose, you're not really going to go off into that tangent of trying to make it seem like you're more than you're not. At least, okay, let me be clear. Some people might, right? But they got no reason to make shit up. They got enough to deal with. So I didn't have a reason to disbelieve him. But anyway, point of it was, I could see it in the man's eyes. He just needed somebody to guide him at a younger stage of his life. And still now, granted, he is going upstate life, so I don't know where he is anymore. But I still pray for that man, because he showed me more love, even after we got into it. He showed me more love and appreciation than a lot of quote-unquote upstanding people out in the free world have or should. But anyway, so I say that to say that I couldn't see it in the moment, but God had used that situation to kind of guide me and say, hey man, look, this brother here probably had a lot of potential to become something more, but life got the better of him. Maybe somebody didn't shed a bit of hope, from God and the ability to move on into a better way and day. So now let me go. There's more to that, but we'll leave that there for now. We'll circle over to the Murder Hornet. A few years ago, I'm driving down Old Country Road out in northeast Pennsylvania area, and windows down, I'm enjoying the breeze, and this is right at the time when the Murder Hornet had made its debut in the States, right? And so I was like, oh, that'd be interesting to see what that looks like. Shoot. So I'm cruising down